Hello everybody, this is a Lamley showcase preview. I think maybe people are finding hammer drops in the stores. Right now everyone's just rushing to their local stores here in the US to try and find Modern Classics and Race Day, the final two mixes of 2024. And I've heard there's been some good luck finding Roxy of late from a lot of people. That's exciting. The most sought after chase in a while. But we're moving into 2025. And this is the first mix, and I'm very, very excited to show it. This came from Mattel, and this, if it's not in stores now, it will be soon. I have the car show mat out, my old JCCS mat, because we're going to do a car show after this. We're going to go through all 5 cars, and if you remember when I do some of these showcases, we go through the cars, and then the second part of this video will be a little car show. I got a couple of little themes for this car show. So let's get right to it. One new casting. Nice to see a new casting in the first mix of the year. The last 2 years, the mixes have not had a new casting, so that's cool, and what a new casting it is. Very excited about that. Plus, we have a very happy return of the, I'm very happy to see a proper Bugatti. 911 Carrera goes to premium, and we still see the 787B, even though that's gone basic. It stays premium, blah, 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 blah. Let's just get right to it. We are going to start, we're not going to go in order. We're just going to go with the cars that I think are of most interest to people, and we start with the MG Metro 6R4, a fantastic rally car. Now, hammer drops. I would assume you know what the theme here is, especially when you see the logo for hammer drops. That big dollar sign right at the end kind of tells you what the theme is here. These would basically go very high in auction, right? And the MG Metro 6R4, a fantastic rally car. There's a lot of rally cars, RS200, the Stratos, that sort of thing. Well, that's a Stratos. Rally cars going up to auction would obviously fetch big time money. And I would assume, you know, I'd have to go look it up, but I would assume the MG Metro as a classic racing car definitely would. Here is the back. As Mattel sent it, there is that if you're looking for it in stores. There is a chase, obviously. We'll talk about that. I actually have footage of it. I don't have it with me, but you'll see the chase here in this video. An MG Metro 6R4, here we go. Let's go ahead and open it up. We get it on the turntable. I'm not going to remember to do this, but one of my goals this year is to open from the bottom. But let's see if this even works. That way, if I ever want to showcase the car, see, now I can do that, and I can put the car in and put it, anyway, you guys don't care. Here it is. Okay, so we have seen this model, what? Started in Team Transport, if I remember correctly. It's been maybe in Team Transport twice, and it's been in the premium sets. Am I right on that? Could be wrong. Maybe it's been in Boulevard. I don't remember. 2 or 3 different versions of this car. I don't have it in front of me. It's not going to be part of the car show, although this one will. We got the Hot Wheels Rally Deco. I think we go back, if I look back and looked for like a 2-tone blue and white, we might find something that this is an homage to, but I don't have it in front of me right now. You racing fans, rally fans might say, oh yeah, it's definitely based on such and such car. This is a silhouette, maybe a model that doesn't get as much attention, and but this is one of those educator models, I think, that many of us as collectors maybe not familiar with the car at the beginning, but we were familiar with the car with the end, and hopefully gain an appreciation for it, especially when it comes to racing history. Let's put that right there, and let's move over to this side. Speaking of racing history, it doesn't get as nearly as cool as the Mazda 787B. Now, the art gets some bummer here because of the attention, because this has a removable part. I'm going to say right out of the gate, with the 787B, this is obviously the test, like the track model we've seen. This is an actual car, and this is a replica of that, which is very cool to see. I'll just say one thing I'm really happy is you look at this blister, and if I turn it this way, notice something? That's a straight spoiler, because they actually created a much better blister to sit the car in, and not that just like comes at an angle and ends up pushing the plastic spoiler. The basic version has a metal spoiler on it, so no issues there, but it really stinks because of the other versions. In fact, I didn't pull out the old versions of the 787B because I've not been too fond of this casting because of the way the spoiler always curves, and I know you can hot water and do all this stuff. Anyway, let's get this one open. Might have to edit this as I try and get used to opening this from the bottom. We all have goals, right? We all have things, New Year's resolutions. Mine is to open Hot Wheels from the bottom, and I'll probably forget to do this, so probably in the next video. Here it is. There's a straight spoiler, which is nice to see, and then of course we can take this piece off. It's a matte black color, which is cool. No detailing in the engine. That's all right. It's neat that they did a removable piece, but I don't care too much about it, as long as it sits straight. And you know what? What's nice about this is, you know, they obviously did the 2 different wheels when they did the first versions, and that's, you know, that's accurate with the actual car. The problem was the size of the wheels were a little off, and so when you got a racing car, you know, I'm just kind of complaining about the 787B. I'm so happy they did the 787B. I think that the regular, or the Super Treasure Hunt from last year, which won the Lamley Award, was a fantastic model because it's an homage to the Le Mans winner. But the Premium has had some issues with wheels, like the wheels not fitting, or like, you know, the rear wheels being smaller, having the kind of a deep barrel type wheel on this car doesn't work. So putting these wheels on it actually looks better because they're a little more flush. And this casting in Premium for sure has never looked as good as it does here. So I'm thrilled to see this one looking the way it is in the matte black. It's clean. I would love to see a Le Mans in Premium, just as long as the wheels are right, because it's just never, I love that they do it, but it's never lived up to, I think, what the 787B is. And they've done some iconic race cars, but that's one I wish they do. All right, let's keep on going. Those are the first 2. Let's go to the Porsche Carrera RS 2.911 Carrera RS 2.7. Moves from basic to premium. Nice to see it going in premium. They could use the more modern Fuchs wheel, but they do this kind of mag style that passes as a Fuchs. It's in the art, right? As a Fuchs wheel. I don't know if you don't need to see that part. I love this casting because it's representative. It's a representation of one of the cooler Porsches. I know I've said it a lot of late. I am much more fond of classic Porsches and the classic Porsche silhouette than I am of current Porsches. I still like current Porsches, but not as much as this beautiful silhouette, especially the ducktail. And so hoping to see this one go premium, and it did. So really, really happy, and it's clean. You know, plain yellow with the Carrera the Carrera detailing on the side, which I love. Porsche on the back, headlights done. Everything done nice and clean. This is the premium, or the basic model, just with obviously the metal chassis. And we're going to see it in Boulevard in the same deco in black with red trim. So I am stoked to see this family forming of what is a fantastic casting of a fantastic Porsche, an iconic Porsche. And I'm really happy more on that one in the car show. Let's go to the Bugatti Veyron. Another one, I'm so happy to see this version done. We'll talk about this one in the car show as well. Straight up Bugatti Veyron. This appears to be, and we'll get into it in the car show, the premium version of the Fast and Furious one that they did. We've seen it twice in Fast and Furious, I think. Or no, there's a Transformers. Once in Fast and Furious, once in Transformers, like Silver Series, which I don't have. Let's see if I can... There we go. And there it is. Love the two-tone color on this one. Love the blue rims. Bugattis in this color I just think are fantastic. And going back to the Veyron and just how much attention the Veyron I don't think the successors of the Veyron have gotten as much attention as the Veyron did when it was you know, current. And it's moving into classic realm. It's not anything you're going to find a bargain on in a car show, right? A Veyron is a Veyron. And love that they've moved this one to premium as well. A very deserving model, and I'm really stoked to see it being done like this. And we'll talk about that casting and the history of that casting in the car show. Finally, I mean, look at this. If this were an auction, I know those are in the bushes, we've got ourselves quite a show. I mean, which one? That would probably be the most... No, this would be the most expensive, wouldn't it? Track version of the 787B? Maybe this would be the most expensive, because isn't there only one in the world of the Lancia Stratos Zero? Lancia Stratos Zero? There's some great footage of this, I think, in Switzerland, driving in the snow. You can find it on YouTube. And anyway, maybe I'll share that. this is great. Ron Wong did this design. It's a unique design, probably going along with the Rally. I think before I open this up, this is the Chase. Obviously, they've moved away from the last car of the set being the new model. They're just kind of randomly mixing them in now. That's totally fine. This is the Chase as well. It's in jet black. I believe it might have the same silver trim. I don't know, because you're seeing the footage right now as I filmed it in my studio back in October when I was at the Hot Wheels convention. I'll get the Chase eventually and maybe find a showcase for it. But right now I don't have it and I don't want to wait. And so I want to show this for you, but now you can see it on the turntable and everything else. Really cool Chase. As much as I like the Chase, I think that the actual version in this bronze color is even better. So an incredibly cool design, and and there's a lot of history with this design, and obviously you can see it. Oh, what is it? Yeah, I'd have to look it all up, but a really cool. Like, this is not going to get the same hype as some of the others, like the Liberty Walk McLaren is in the next mix. That's going to be a big deal. The RWB, all that kind of stuff. But this is just something that I hope, in the whole scheme of things, that collectors can say, really cool to have the Lancia Stratos Zero being done as a Hot Wheels, and especially as a Hot Wheels Premium. This is not easy. Maybe I'm going to give up on my goal, but we'll see. There we go. All right. This is so cool. It's tiny. It's light, even though it's fully metal. Like, that's a metal chassis. There's a helicopter. Side profile is amazing. This triangle design on top is so cool. Ron did an excellent job in the execution. There is an interior hidden in there, and there is a window piece. Maybe there'll be a future piece that, future model, that you can actually see more inside, because I can barely, I'm like taking it off camera, I can barely make it out in this light, but it's there. This thing is so rad, and I'm glad it's made as the Chase, because then that means people that maybe aren't familiar with the car will chase it anyway. There's a chance of it being a peg warmer, I know, but I still just love that it was done. All right, if you want to go, you've now seen the entire set. Tell me in the comments which one is your favorite. The Stratos Zero is my favorite of this, just because of what it is, but I would also say that I'm quite fond of I'd say the Bugatti and the RS, I'm really fond of. And speaking of, let's move into the car show, because that is what the car show is going to be. So those who just wanted to see the new models, we'll see you later. The rest of us, let's, here's the portion of the car show that we're not covering: the Mazda 787B, the MG Rally, and then of course the Stratos. We'll do that one, because there's the Chase that we have to show, and a silver version coming out in a 2-pack. But let's talk Porsche and Bugatti. Porsche's easy, right? Because we just have this premium version, and we're going to have the black version soon. But when you look at just that Carrera design and how cool that is, and just know that Hot Wheels has stayed committed, and maybe Porsche's asked them to, but on the basics, I've got them all, because they're all fabulous. So I think this was the first edition, I know. Mag wheels on it, which do pass as a could be kind of Porsche-like with the Fuchs wheel. But if you look at it, I mean, look at this. The only thing that the premium has that the basic doesn't is more details in the headlights, and some window trim, and a little more, well, yeah, a little more detail, but not a ton more detail, actually. Here, I'll get that in focus. In the back, actually, they're pretty similar. When you look at that, that's kind of insane. The wheels on the premium, I mean, I'm hoping that we can see, I'd like to see this with the Fuchs wheels. So here, I'm actually going to move these. Let's move this down a little bit. If we're creating a Porsche show, we'll put these off to the side for now. Quite an expensive Porsche show, an exotic show in Long Beach. So yeah, you've got the white version. I think it was recolored in yellow. Check that out. Black trim on the yellow one. Recolored in yellow. I mean, obviously it was either the last year or the year before, and then I think this year we've gotten orange. Same thing, just clean deco. You got the Carrera on the sides, you got headlights, and you got the tail lights, and some of the markers are incorporated into the window piece, which is a great design cue that Hot Wheels has been doing to make these so clean. So you get all the detail on the front and on the sides and on the back, and it's fabulous. So white yellow, orange, and red, all with the Carrera deco, and now you have a second yellow one with the gray wheels. You might even say, and I wouldn't argue with someone if they said, I think the basics are better so far. Now, when that black version comes out, it might be different, but still, add the black with the red trim here, and look at that family of Porsches. I'm so happy with that. Now we got to do let's move over here and let's do the Bugattis. We've already got some, as you can see, but they're not going to go on the grass, the Bugattis, so we're going to have to get here. So I didn't pull out everything, but I did want to kind of give it. So obviously we've got this Veyron casting, which I've talked about, and I think it is. And first thing we got to determine, is this the Fast and Furious? So I pulled out the Fast and Furious, and yeah, it is. Looking at the chassis, they're similar. Looking at the front grille, obviously you get the detailing in the premium. Looking at the rear, this is just so better proportioned than previous versions. And speaking of previous versions, so you get the white Fast and Furious. We can put that on the turntable. Love this one from a couple years ago. It's one of my favorite models of the year from Hot Wheels. Just the fact that it got the 10-spoke wheels, it got this nice, clean, just all white version. I just was so into it. But if you go backwards, there's actually several versions of the Bugatti. There's the original, and I just pulled out this one. This was the Walmart exclusive that remains a highly sought after. I could have pulled out there's several versions. There's the original in black and red. There's the speed machines that people want with the gold trim. But I think the best version of this casting, the casting's rough, and I've always said that before. It's a really rough casting. But that satin red Walmart exclusive was always a really cool one. Then there was this kind of in between, and I think, and this is what we're going to find out, there was this one done for whatever that. It was another Walmart exclusive. It wasn't a basic exclusive. It was a Walmart exclusive set, kind of a racing set. I think there's a McLaren in there. And this Bugatti Veyron was in there as well. And it was a slight update. This is, I think, generally considered like a concept Veyron. And this one is a slight update of it. As you can see, like, it just, you could see it in the interior. You can see it in the proportions of the windows. Maybe in the back. It just, this kind of overhang that the old casting had, this one doesn't. And so it was an update of that concept. So my guess is that in the Hot Wheels records, this one is just an update of the red satin. And I think the 2-pack that was released last year with the Bugattis, this version is that casting. Sure looks like it, right? Yeah, it is. So we get a premium version of, this one just says Bugatti Veyron. They both do. This one, what does it say? Yeah, it also says Veyron as well. So, slight update. They put this casting, they've turned it premium, put it in the 2-packs, which is nice, but it's still, I mean, and I guess the wheels make more sense. It just sit a little bit differently, but it still doesn't vibe like a Veyron does. This one certainly does. The Fast and Furious, and now this one in premium, definitely vibes a little differently. We'll put that one right here. And of course, I don't know, I just pulled these out. I pulled out, I think because I like the blue, because they tend to match, and then on the Chiron with the premium. And then this is my favorite of the Chirons so far in premium. I didn't like the other blue and black version, so they finally did a clean version with I think better wheels. Still think the 10-spoke works best on this one, but the Chiron is nice, and the EB110 is probably my favorite. But yeah, I think if I had to just now limit my collection to just a couple for the Bugatti, there's the two I would keep. Really like that premium and the Veyron, and then the Chiron in black and silver. The Bolide is great when it's in. I wonder if that will move to premium, but there you go. Hammer drops, expensive auction cars. It's a really cool theme. I think it's executed really well because you've got just the ultimate sought afters like the Porsche and Bugatti, and then you have some cool obscure like the Stratos. This is where they needed to release a model like the Stratos, and then of course the MG Rally. I just think it's really, really a cool set. And then they have a 787B is pretty fantastic as well. You guys tell me what you think. Tell me which one is your favorite. Should be in stores soon, thanks to Mattel. Bye.